How's it going, One Piece fans? David here. Sorry for my long hiatus as far as having One Piece talked about in the last couple of chapters. I'm sorry. For a couple weeks, I had the flu and strep throat. And when I got better, I just didn't have physically any time to actually make a video. And I know I wanted to make one yesterday, but I ran out of time. And I was kind of pretty mad about the fact that I didn't get the promotion I was looking for. So I settled with a lot of alcohol last night. So I'm sorry about that, everyone. Um, but now we can get to my exciting thoughts about chapter 805, which was a beautiful chapter. A beautiful chapter. First off, you had the introduction of several Minkmen. You had Carrot, you had Wanda, you had Pedro, you had BB, you had Rudy. So, great chapter. And there was only about 6 Minkmen you've seen so far on that island, which is supposed to have hundreds of thousands of Minkmen. Plus, you saw Beepo, which Beepo I love. Beepo is an amazing character. I love Beepo. Um, so it's an interesting little situation where are all the Minkmen? Are they hiding somewhere? Are they were they captured by Jack and brought into removed from the island? Were they executed? There was a torture device where one of the McMen were skinned alive. So it's an interesting thing to find out where are all the McMen. There's only a couple that we found, and hopefully we find the rest of them. Because I can't foresee just a small number of them just being on that little island. Just what happened to the rest of them. Now, we all know that Jack was the one who attacked the McMahon territory. That was said at the end of this chapter, and I have to give credit to Roger's Base. He had a very interesting theory that I watched about it being a prehistoric woolly mammoth. Now, we've already had an elephant devil fruit, like he said, with Spandam's sword. So it would make sense that it would be a prehistoric elephant at this point in time, since it'd be the most logical way of going with the devil fruit. Now, as far as the slashing goes, he also brought up that it could have been X-Drake teaming up with him, or maybe a saber-toothed tiger. There's got to be someone for the claws, because usually woolly mammoths don't have that type of claws. So we will see what happens as we go on in this chapter going forward. Now, like I said, we found Law's crew with Penguin and Beepo and Jean Bart and Sachi. They were happy that their captain is back, and there are more of them. I wonder where the rest of their crew is. Probably on the submarine. I mean, those guys seem to be the ones that go with Law in most places. They must be his strongest fighters, and it seems to me that Law's crew is a little bit on the weak side. I'm gonna admit, a little bit on the weak side. But Law makes up for it because he's a badass. Not as strong as Luffy, but at least on par with the other monster two, Sanji and Zoro. He's on par with them. That's where I think Law is in terms of strength. I'm pretty sure he could beat Sanji, Zoro would be a very interesting fight if Law ever fought Zoro. But I don't think Law will ever fight Luffy's crew. I can never imagine that. Never. I think there's too much friendship between the two over Law saving Marineford, Luffy avenging his mortal enemy, Don Flamingo, for Rosiante. So there will never, ever be a situation where those two go to blows against each other unless it's a quick spat gets resolved. That would be my opinion with them. And it's great that you're going to see all the crews meet up soon. Now, Robin and her dark humor is hilarious, and Usopp's reactions are priceless. I have to admit it. They're priceless. Priceless. She eggs him on. It's kind of like he's one of those guys that just you can scare him extremely easily, which is why she does it. She gets a rise out of picking on poor Usopp, and then Chopper is so gullible that he would do the same thing too, which is hilarious. So I think next chapter you're going to see the reunification of the missing Straw Hats with at least Luffy. And we'll see what happens as far as why they're missing or disappeared or hurt or whatever. I don't know. We'll find out. They kept saying they're dead. Maybe knocked out with, I would assume, maybe Mr. Gasman's attack, Caesar Clown. Maybe use some gas on them that make them look like they're in a near-death state. This way they can not, get killed somehow by making the enemy think that they were killed. That would be something that would be smart, and I could see Chopper and Caesar coming up with that. And the funny thing is, trusting Caesar is a little hard. But I could see that happen very easily. And then Caesar can fly wherever he wants. So we will see. Now, as far as what I expect to get out of this chapter, Luffy has met his 8th fleet captain, Wanda. That is the direction I think is going to happen. I think at the end of this arc, there's going to be a situation where Wanda gets the survivors of the Mink tribe and has them basically have a life debt to Luffy. So whenever Luffy's in trouble, that's what I think is going to happen. And I think that's probably something that's part of the Mink culture that hasn't been described yet. Because if you've noticed, Beepo, how intensely loyal he is to Trafalgar Law, I honestly think the Minkmen have a life debt culture. And Luffy would try to not basically say no, not another fleet captain. I don't want another fleet captain. But I think he's gonna get it, and they're pretty strong people. Let's be honest, they're unique. They have powers. So we will see what happens with that. I think she will be the 8th fleet captain. And that's why we're introducing us to these guys, because they're going to be the strongest members of Luffy's new fleet of Minks. And there's going to be more of them. And as far as the other minks, we will see wherever they are. There's probably a good amount of them. Either like we said earlier, dead, captured, or hiding. And we will see what happens, because there's a lot of territory on this elephant. But it wouldn't surprise me if Jack used these guys as slave labor for Kaido, to build up his forces, to get himself stronger for war. Because you got to get an edge over other Yonko. And the Mink tribe seemed to be pretty strong. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to have most normal crews deal with them. Because, I mean, that electric attack kind of thing could take out most people pretty decently. Heck, Zoro got a good whiff of that and he didn't like it. And he's pretty darn strong. Pretty darn strong indeed. Question is how strong Zoro is. So we will see what happens with them. And I'm looking for, I think everyone's looking forward to seeing the reunification of the Straw Hats, the reunification of the Heart Pirates. Now, Jack left the island. Question is if there's any of his minions still lingering around the island or not. But Jack left the island on his boat to try to free Don Flamingo. So, the villain of this arc will have to come back to this island to actually fight the Straw Hats. Whether it is Jack, whether it is Weevil, whether it is other members of Kaido's forces or other members of maybe members of Big Mom's forces, but there's gonna be someone, or heck, you know what, let's even be funny. Buggy shows up, decides to fight the Straw Hats, and nothing comes of it because Buggy would get his butt kicked by Nami. Nami would be like, no, I got this. Electro Ball, down goes Buggy. He's done. Because I don't think any of Buggy's forces could defeat the Straw Hats at this point. They're all too strong. In which case, he would be on an island where this stuff ain't going to get leaked out to the world government, so, I mean, he wouldn't lose his Shibukai status. He just wouldn't tell anyone. So, yeah. This is a interesting little situation where whoever is the villain is going to be an external threat, and they're not on the island at this point. That's my honest opinion. The villain of this arc is going to show up on this island in a couple chapters. What you're probably going to see is the reunification of the Heart Pirates, the unification of the Straw Hat Pirates, the samurai going to find each other. You're going to have the ninja find the ninja join up. You're going to see the Mink tribe talk to Luffy. And then you're going to see this big battle, I think, at the gates of the island, where members of someone's army, I'm assuming Jack's, or either Jack is going to come back and attack with other members of Kaido's forces, or maybe Weevil at the end. We'll see. It's got to be one of the two. I know we already had a Jack moment, but Jack, as we saw earlier, was going to save Don Flamingo. Heck, maybe even Don Flamingo might make a return on this island, the return of Doflamingo, and then Jack and Doflamingo both lose, which would be fun as heck. Well, funny as heck. So, yeah. And since the Mink tribe have no formal relations with the world government, they're not under duty to actually give either of them to the world government and do whatever they want with them. So we will see. And this will be a very interesting arc, because I don't think anyone knows who the main villain of this arc really is yet. He's gonna show up probably several chapters from now. You're gonna see, like I said, you're gonna see a lot of reunifications. You're probably gonna have that whole Sanji talking about why he's wanted alive. And you might even you might have some sort of situation where Wanda tells Luffy about, honestly I think a lot of them were captured, tells them that a lot of the Mink were captured, and Luffy promises to free them. And one thing that I think isn't talked about is that I think I understand why the Bepo and the other Mink left the islands. It's to go find lost Mink that aren't on the island. The Mink tribe probably all existed on one island in the Grand Line that was destroyed during the Void Century. And then that several Mink tribes took ships and fled to different areas. And they felt that the world government couldn't be trusted, so they went to the elephants. Now, I feel that Bepo's tribe is the only known Mink tribe location of people. The other three are in the Florian Triangle, on the backs of the other 3 elephants. And other Mink were sold into slavery, so it's the Mink's mission to free all Mink. That's their goal. That's their dream, to free all Mink and have them return and have them all reunify. That is a theory I have as the reason why they leave, and that is their goal. Now, any Mink working with someone, like Law has Bepo, I think Law promised to help Bepo find the Mink, and they formed a friendship, and you can see how loyal he is to Law. So, like I said earlier, I think they have a life debt culture, and I think you'll see that is how Wanda basically leads the Mink to wanting to help Luffy when he promises to save the rest of the Mink from the villains of this arc, because all the Mink are gonna swear loyalty to Luffy. Which you're looking and saying, Luffy's getting an army. He's getting an army. And this is the only organization that's going to be on this island. It's all Mink, and they're pretty darn tough people. Other than that, you have the ninja, the 2 samurai, and Momo, which their chapters will be when they go to Wano, and when they lead the samurai to swear loyalty to Straw Hat Luffy on that island. So, you're probably going to have one new fleet captain on each island, or maybe a defector army on maybe a couple islands. So that's what you're going to get. for the future. And occasionally you might get a new Straw Hat member. Maybe. I think we already know Jinbei's joining, and it's going to be a matter of, I have a feeling it's going to be this arc that Jinbei joins. That's my feeling. Whether it's the end of this arc or somewhere in the middle he's going to join up. But Jinbei is showing up this arc. Guarantee it. By the end of this arc, Jinbei will be the next Straw Hat. And then you'll have another fleet captain. Okay? Thank you for listening. I'm signing off and I gotta go to work. Okay? Thank you for listening to my theories and my opinions of this chapter 805. Great chapter. Loved it. Loved everything about it. So I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. Great chapter. 10 out of 10. Great chapter. So thank you. Have a good one.